Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Tonya, and if you're returning, well today I'm going to be working on my fall series. In this series, I'm going to be creating some beautiful neutral fall decor that I think you're going to love. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Now for our first DIY, I'm going to be creating this pumpkin tower, and I used the Dollar Tree pumpkins, and then I picked up some of these little words from Hobby Lobby. I'm going to go ahead and use some of the antique wax and water it down because I wanted to make this have just a light color of stain to it, and I really like that color tone for the neutral decor, and I thought that would be really pretty on this particular design. And I did the same thing with the letters that are going to say hello family, welcome. Now I decided to take some of the sandstone and some of the white chalk paint, and I just wanted to alternate the pumpkins, so I would have one of the little tan and one of the white. And then I found this really neat wire at Hobby Lobby last year, I think it was. They still have some wire like that there. And I decided to just wrap these stems in some rope, and I wanted to use that wire, as you saw there, just to make those cute little curls coming up from the pumpkin stems. And I decided to stagger mine kind of off balance like this, and I just love how this design turned out, everyone. Now this is going in my booth, so I decided to use some E6000 with the hot glue. And I wanted to make sure this stayed together really well for whoever purchased this design. But isn't this just adorable? This was so quick and so simple and such a fun little decor piece to set up for the fall season. Now for our next DIY, I'm going to be creating this little pumpkin trio, and I actually purchased this piece from Dollar Tree in the plus section. Now I'm going to go ahead and wood glue everything together because, like I said, this one too is going in my booth, and I just wanted to freshen this piece up, and so I took my really white chalk paint and just give it a really good coat everywhere, and decided to go ahead with the rope twine around the stem area. And I'm going to go ahead and use those little rub-on transfers again that you actually are supposed to be using on glass, but everyone, they work so well on wood and all kinds of different things that I've tried them on. I had even put some of these on fabric and they worked. I picked up these chalkboard leaves at Dollar Tree, and I just love how this turned out. If you watch my channel, you know I love my neutral decor, and I also love my black and white. So those are the two combos that I like to blend together in my home. Now I'm just going to finish these off by adding that little rope twine bow to cover the hole. And everyone, look how adorable this is. I love this piece. This to me is definitely a little staple piece for the fall decor season. Now for our third DIY, we're going to be making another pumpkin trio, but everyone, this is a new technique I tried. I saw this canvas at Dollar Tree, and I picked up that wood sign at Dollar General for 50% off, and I knew right away I was going to figure out how to get this canvas on these little pumpkins from Dollar Tree. And everyone, this has given me so many ideas, so I hope that this design inspires you to give this one a try, because now I really go in there and look at all the canvases. Now you can see I'm just making tiny little slits all around, and I was able to just take my little Cricut tool and just fold those over and just hot glue those down. And this was so easy to do. And then I just kind of maneuvered the corners around, and everything smoothed out really well. Now I decided to take some of those little wood pieces from Dollar Tree, and I was really wanting to get that bark off of there, and I thought that would be the perfect stem for my pumpkins. And everyone, this was probably one of my favorite new creations that I had just come up with on a whim. So I am definitely going to be using this one with some different types of designs. So everyone, check out those canvases at Dollar Tree because we have some really fun things now that we can do with these. Now I'm going to just go ahead and just finish these off by tying some little rope bows there and adding some more of those little wire curls around the top of each pumpkin. And this made the cutest little sign to hang up. This one is actually, like I said, going in my booth, but I am definitely going to be creating some more of these designs for my home. And here it is, displayed on the shelf, and I just love how it turned out. You'll have to let me know what you think of this design in the comments below. Now for our fourth design, I lost a little bit of the clip on this, but I picked up these little stop sign shaped boxes at the Dollar Tree Plus section, and I had just glued those together to make a larger shaped pumpkin out of these. Took some more sandstone and then brushed some white over top, and I decided just to score some little lines in there with my sandpaper to just kind of give that illusion that it does have the shape of the pumpkin running through it. But everyone, this was another one that I was really happy with how it turned out. Went ahead and just glued one of my little wood stems on there. Now I picked up the Grateful and Thankful at Hobby Lobby, and I picked up those little leather tags at Dollar Tree. That's new this year, to me anyway. So that was just a really fun find. I'm glad they're doing some things with the leather pieces because I think that works so wonderful for fall. Now I'm just going to take some of this rope twine that is wired that I did pick up at Dollar Tree, and just going to make some of those little curly cues to come up around the pumpkin stem. And everyone, this was another really nice little piece to display. And of course, if you like a little more color, you could always paint this one with some brighter fall colors. But here is the little video where I displayed it on my shelf, and I was really happy with this one. Now for our fifth DIY, we're going to be creating this little bouquet arrangement, and I found this little pumpkin at Dollar Tree, and I'm going to do that same thing, just take some of that light colored stain with the antique wax and just kind of brush that on there, and then I even work it in with my glove. That really helps blend it in really well. And I'm just going to go ahead and pop some of that foam down in there, and I picked up just this one little floral branch for fall at Hobby Lobby this year, and I wanted to have this one just be kind of simple, so I add a little greenery here later. And here I am with another one of those rub-on transfers that you use on glass that definitely works on wood and several other things. Now I'm just going to hot glue this one in there to make sure it stays secure, and then I just pulled out some greenery out of my craft box and just pop that in there. And I decided, since I had a little black and white in some of the other DIYs, I was just going to add a simple little rag bow to this and just layers of ribbon and just cut the ends of them and have them kind of fray out a little and tie that on with some rope twine. And that made a cute little accent for the back side of my floral arrangement. But everyone, you'll have to let me know if you are enjoying the fall DIYs today, and drop me a comment and let me know if you're having a favorite one so far. And here's a little video of it displayed on my shelf. Now for our sixth DIY, we are going to be creating this light up palette pumpkin. And everyone, this was so simple and easy to put together, but I absolutely love how this one turned out. And I just used some of my super hot glue there and glued this together. Now you could actually glue this together with some wood glue also, and just to make a real permanent hold on that, but I have not had any problems with this holding together with it being raw wood and just using the hot glue. And of course I just made a little pocket there to set my tea lights down in, and then I added one of those little wood stems you can see there. And this was such a really sweet design. Definitely want to make some more of these. And then I just added a couple of leaves that I had in my craft stash and some rope twine. And everyone, that pretty much finishes this off with one of those thankful leather pieces from Dollar Tree. And what a cute design this is. Look how pretty it is when the lights are out and it's lit up. So this one is definitely a keeper for me. Love the simplicity of this design. Love that I could use one of those little leather cutouts from Dollar Tree. And let me know what you think of this one in the comments below. Now for our seventh DIY that we really can't even call a DIY, I found these jars at Dollar General, 50% off. And when I saw them, I thought, I'm just going to add a stem to these, and these are going to make the cutest little pumpkin jars to maybe put some candy in, or you could even set them in your bathroom and fill them up with your cotton balls and Q-tips. But they were marked down to just a couple of dollars each, and I thought, already decorated, love the wood lid on these, and look how cute these are. So it's always good to check the marked down aisle to see what you can find. Now for our eighth DIY, I'm going to be creating this beautiful platter wall art. I found the platter at Dollar General, and I just pulled together some of the things that I had in my craft box, except for the pumpkins. I did just pick those up this year at Hobby Lobby. Oh, and the blessed sign was one of them that came with the thankful sign. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I did on this one. And for some reason, I got this all put together with that hot glue, and you'll see later on in the video, it did not stick. So I ended up having to drill some holes. But this is a neat little tip that I like to do. I like to cut these pumpkins in half when I'm putting them on a flat surface. And one thing, it adds me a few more pumpkins for a different DIY, and I just like the way it looks. It feels like you can really see them straight on when you cut them in half like that. And you can see I'm really gluing this down, but it does not stay. Now, I ended up having the pumpkins glued on, but I didn't have any problem with those, and it was just that piece of greenery and the stem of the florals that seemed like it didn't want to stay. And you'll see me glue on some pine cones here. Now I made sure they touched a little bit of the greenery, so that all held on really, really well. But everyone, this was such a pretty design, and if you do this on one of the platters, keep in mind that you will need to attach this with something besides the hot glue, because it definitely doesn't hold. Now, I decided, like I said, you'll see me here in a moment, I just drilled a couple holes in there and used a zip tie. And you could just as well use some E6000. And I decided to go ahead and use some super glue to put my bless sign on, just in case it didn't want to stick on the front of there. And everything held up really well, and it turned out to be a really, really pretty design. And I'm just going to pop that blessed right in the middle there. And of course, you'll see I do put a hanger on the back. Sometimes I do like to display things on my easels. That's just a way I like to display some of the wall art pieces. I think they look really pretty. Now here's a new little bow that I created. And I guess this kind of looks like maybe one of those little starburst, or kind of like a rag mum. And I know I've seen some of those mums. A lot of times they're white, but I thought I'm going to see what this does. So I made all different kinds of stacks of these ribbons, and I ended up cutting, you'll see, just some little slits in here, and it went together really well. And I decided to dovetail the ends of this one because I thought that would be really pretty the way that I was going to put this one together. But it was a really fun little bow, and it's definitely a keeper for me. I kind of just like the way it had that almost like a raggedy look for fall, so that was really fun. Now you can see I'm just kind of crisscrossing these back and forth, and I did find out that you can use your cutter to cut these, and that works really well. Or you can just take the scissors and just clip little holes. When I made my second one, I ended up just putting it on a block of wood and just slicing there. And what I'm doing is just making holes for my zip tie to come up through. And then when you pull this tight, you'll be amazed. It just pulls together so tight, and you can just maneuver around all your little pieces of ribbon and shape them. They kind of come out like a cluster, like a flower, or like I said, just like a little star effect. So definitely a neat little thing that happened by accident, and I think I'll definitely keep it. And you'll have to let me know what you think of this new bow technique in the comments below. Now you can see, once I get it all put together, and I just kind of twisted them up the way I wanted it and hot glued it right onto that stem that's getting ready to pop off of there in a minute. But that's okay, because we're going to put those little drill holes in there to zip. There it is. I lifted it right up and it wasn't even stuck at all. But yeah, I definitely suggest just going ahead and drilling some holes in the platters if you do a design like this, because it really just locks it on there really well. And you can drill through these platters because they're plastic really easy. Well, everyone, while I'm working on this, I'll just go ahead and say thank you so much, everyone that has been subscribing to my channel. And thank you so much for the support that you've been giving me. If you haven't seen the video, I did complete my studio. I will leave a link to the studio video in the description below if you would like to go watch and see what I had done with the 8x12 shed, turning it into a really charming cottage style, very open and very airy studio so I could create. Well, here is our little piece of wall art, and I got it displayed there on my easel, and I just love how it turned out. And I really love this little rag bow. I guess, I don't even know, you got a name for my bow? I kind of think it looks like a mix between a little starburst and a flower, but I definitely know I love it. Well, now for our 9th DIY, it's actually 3 different pumpkins that I had picked up at Dollar General. And what I end up doing is just touching these up because I thought they were so pretty on that side on their own. And I'm going to go back in with those canvases again. And everyone, I am having so much fun with the canvas art. So definitely let me know if this is something you're going to try, because I thought these turned out so pretty. And especially this one for my neutral. And I love how you can kind of have these sitting up and then turn them around when we really get into fall. But this kind of goes from summer to fall, and I thought it was the perfect design. Now what I'm going to do is just pick out, you see there, I picked out kind of a spot on my canvas that I really like to blend in with my decor. And boy, once I popped that on there, I just thought I'm definitely going to be doing lots of things like this. And I did end up using some of my tacky glue, and it worked really well to hold this canvas down. Now the other 2 pumpkins, I used the tacky glue, but I would suggest maybe just using a glue stick, because I really had to work gently to try to keep it from bubbling up. But I thought these were some really cute little pumpkins that they had this year at Dollar General. And of course, I wanted to add that white. If you watch my channel, you know how much I love white. And you'll be able to see that when you go watch my studio tour. I painted everything in there white. I just love that. And I love how it makes all the creations look. Now I decided just to brush on some white around the edges there just to give that, this one has a real farmhouse feel to me. And then I tied on some rope twine on this one and added a little bit of rope to each side there, you can see. And I just think this turned out so cute. And I really love the pumpkin side with the green also. Well, everyone, this will take a few minutes because I wanted to show you these calendars that they just got in at Dollar Tree. So while I'm kind of deciding what I want to do to my next pumpkin, we'll be going through some of the pages. And right off the bat, I had to do this bee. I just thought this was perfect from ending summer and going into fall. So this one was definitely a keeper. But after we get this one done, we're going to go through the pages of the calendar because I want you to see how pretty the pictures are. So you can definitely run out and get some of those calendars. And sometimes you can find really pretty ones to do things with the calendars, but I have to say the ones they have this year are probably the favorite of mine. I mean, they really were really good with the artwork on them. And like I said, I am going to use that tacky glue, but I would definitely use a glue stick, and I think you would have a lot less bubbles on that. But everyone, isn't this just perfect? I love the little bee and the flowers, and it still blends wonderful with the neutral decor. And the reason why I did this on the back, I just thought these pumpkins were just so cute. I don't always do a lot with the bright orange and the green, but these were just too pretty to mess up. So I decided to leave them alone on that side and just go ahead and decorate the back side. And then you've got two different designs that you can display in your home. And I think this is another one of my favorite ones. I really, really liked how this one turned out. Well, everyone, I hope you are enjoying today's DIYs. I have one more after this, and that will complete our 10 DIYs for the Neutral Fall series. And I know some of these weren't all neutral, but I kind of tried to include them into the neutral decor. Now, here are some of the pictures. I'll start showing you. I'll pull this down here in a minute so you can see a little better. But aren't these really pretty? I love the bee one and this garden one. And they just really done well on their artwork that they put in the calendars. The little red truck. Love the pumpkin. And look at this one. Some really, really pretty designs. These could all be used as really, really pretty decor pieces. I really like the Hello Fall. I think I might have to do something with that one. Now, I really didn't find anything that would work in that calendar, so I thought I'd hop over to the next one. And this one too had some really, really pretty designs in there. So definitely everyone, if you've not been to Dollar Tree and checked out the calendars, they go pretty quickly. So you may want to get up there and grab you a few of these if you enjoy any of the pictures that I had just showed you. And there is the one that I decided to use to finish up my pumpkins. And everyone, it just turned out so pretty. Now I did decide to add a little brown to this one. I don't know, I just thought that looked pretty with both sides of the pumpkin. And it just had that really richness to it, and love how that turned out. I did freshen up around there with a little bit of white chalk paint, but of course that's me. I'm always going to make things bright white. But everyone, you'll definitely have to let me know what you think of the little pumpkins. And here they all three are displayed on my shelf. And I think these are perfect to transition from summer right into fall. Well, everyone, for our last DIY, we're going to be creating this pumpkin spice and all things nice. Now, I did lose a little bit of my clip on this one, but you'll see a video at the end. But I just took 2 of those wood pumpkins from Dollar Tree and some of the little tumbling tower blocks. And what I was really trying to do in this design at first was make a little pocket that you could do some florals popping out of the top. And once I got it done, I really wasn't loving all the greenery. I kind of wished I'd have done an extra layer of the blocks to make it a little bit thicker. But the way it turned out for what I ended up doing with it, it worked great. And I ended up putting a little bit of greenery there, but you can see even with that pocket, you could have put a little bit of a greenery or florals in there if you wanted to. But I just sanded this down really well because I knew I was going to be putting my Cricut decal on there. And of course, I'm going to pop some of that white paint in there, but this is a little tip I do. I mix my wax in with it, the clear wax, and that just makes the paint kind of drag in the direction that I want it to, and it leaves it a little sparse in areas, which kind of give that look of the lines on the pumpkin. And that's why I added that wax into there. And I do that technique once in a while when I really want my paint to blend and just smoothly go on, where it kind of glides to where it leaves little spaces that aren't completely covered. And I actually really like this just by itself like this. I thought the little spaces in between was cute. Now I'm going to wrap my stem with just some of the rope twine. That seemed to be my theme on this video. I really was liking all the rope twine stems. But everyone, this was a really fun and simple one, and I love the design that I found on the Cricut Design Space. And if you don't have that, you could always use things from Dollar Tree. But here it is, all finished up, and it's such a pretty piece. Well, everyone, I hope you did enjoy today's fall series, and I hope you enjoyed all of the decor ideas and inspiration ideas that I brought to you today. And if so, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. That really does help my channel grow. And if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, I hope you consider doing so. I will see you on the next one.